All right, good morning. Hoi. Don't mind me. I just went to go roll my chair in and it is stuck on the floor. You hear me struggling? Send help. No, I've got this mat. Like those mats on the floor that keep your chairs sliding nicely and smoothly and all that good stuff. And it like makes indents and gets stuck all the time. And it's not a bad one. It's a nice one for sure, but it just kind of garbage in that sense. It makes me feel like I'm 1,000 pounds. That like I like weigh it down and I like smush it too heavily. I wonder if there's like a thicker one that's less likely to get like indents, because it's the indents that make it stuck. I don't know. Let's swap over. Good morning, everybody. Oh, I don't mind my yawning. I've been up a while. It's just one of those mornings, though, you know? I feel like we all hit those where it just feels sleepy. And that's okay. But it doesn't help that it's like a winter weather advisory today. It's very cold and been snowing for at least an hour or so now. Maybe two, but not too much yet. I'm hoping it stays that way. Girlfriend's at work and I hope she doesn't have to deal with too much. Been having some difficult days to say the least, and so the mug that I had left out for me today, that was a sweet one, it's a great day, right? Take it till you make it, baby. Oh, man, it's been one of those mornings where I just didn't feel like making coffee yet, but realistically, I needed it. Anyway, I've actually got my 5 things up already because I'm super prepared, you guys. Like, if you've been tuning in a while, you know. If there's one thing I am, it's prepared. Like, I'm usually not, but I'm getting better. That said, I do have 5. So, without further ado, let's take a peek. What do we got today? Federico Maria Cugliari. That's the name, all right. I appreciate, as an Italian myself, I respect that. But yeah, I really like mice stuff. I hate mice. Like, we had an issue with mice in the basement for like a year, and it was fucking terrible. That, I just, but art, mice are pretty cute. Mice can be cool. Um, and this guy's pretty cute. I like that he's got on the little map. It's literally just for them to get cheese. That looks like something more intense, but nope. Oh, for cheese. Oh, this is an actual MTG. It's a card test. So is this actually like a test they gave him, I wonder, or one he just did, like a testing himself? That's cute though. I like it. What else you got? Federico. Ooh, you've done Lorcana? Dope. Oh, I recognize these. The Huey, Dewey, and Louie and the Glom Gold. Oh, I remember that Glom Gold. Not like an amazing card. From like a gameplay perspective, but hella cute card, regardless. Love when we stumble on hey, told you, Italy. Cugliati. I mean, that was pretty obvious he was an Italian. Oh, the little Mr. Big. These are cute as heck. He didn't do Louis? Louis is down here. Just out of order. I don't remember this Jafar. Oh, it's from the later set. I've not gotten this one. Too much money. Can't deal with it. Very, very cool looking. Let's just go to, ooh. Not personal work. I was gonna say this feels very Nicholas Cole Dragon, like Spyro-y. And that makes sense. That's what he said it was an inspiration of. Ooh. I love a good Disney set. And this person not only obviously works with Lorcana, but oh, I had a cute Hermione I remember I drew a billion years ago. Rocking that mouse motif a lot of places. What oh, a bunch of like Spyro-ish dragon studies. Where are all these? That's not in Lorcana. That wasn't impersonal. Was it? And I just missed them? Oh, maybe they are. I just totally missed it. He just has them in a different order then. I like this guy. I like this guy's style a lot. Nice use of so like I personally with my own style, I've been torn, right? I've been bouncing between stuff. And I want to go more. My natural way of making a mark is very dark, right? It always has been. It feels like it always will be. And so like I always like having a much like thicker, inkier line. But then when I see people always who I think I commented a couple days ago on like the one who did like super thin line work, the same width, right? Never changing. And that's kind of like the same energy, right? I don't work like that. My brain doesn't really work like that either. But it always looks so good. Yeah, and this is a prime example of that. Like he has lines. If you look close, there's lines to almost everything. They're just nice and thin. And all colored pretty nicely. Just a darker version of the outfit, of the piece, of the, whatever we're looking at. But okay. I love this guy's stuff. This is all clean. I like this. Federico, good stuff. Born in Rome in 92. Okay, so he's still a little bit younger than me. Done character concept work, and now he's doing a lot of comic and commission stuff like that. Nice. Oh my goodness. Okay, stop yawning this morning. I'm so sorry. In the mornings, I'm yawning, sure. But there's like a general rule that like when we go to the gym, my girlfriend, so she has a very physically demanding job, and so she'll get home and we'll like eat and then go to the gym. And the general rule is you don't yawn and make me see it at the gym because then you're going to get me to yawn. And so that's like our ongoing joke always that like she tries to hide it no matter where we are. Then when she's yawning, she's pulling one of these, doing this, always doing something to hide her yawn. I don't know how I'm supposed to hide it. So you guys just deal with it. Sorry. You guys might be having sleepy mornings too. There's something with like the lighting today too that like in the camera it doesn't look like there's like crazy weird lighting at all, but like you've got these massive lights right in my face to make me not look like gone. Like here, I feel like there's like for comparison's sake, look at the difference with the lights off. I'm straight up gone. Gone. Like the lighting is so wild that once good lighting just basically looks normal, right? Like that looks like so like there's nothing there. And if I have them both on, then bam. Oh, hello. And it's crazy because it doesn't feel like with those lights off, it doesn't feel dark in the room. But then the second the lights are on, it feels like you're like, hot damn, I am blinded. But anyway, I digress and I'm, tangenting. Let's go back to some cool art, right? So Johann Schepex. It was a big cat and I like the stark colors. No idea what I'm looking at. It reminds me of Lion Cat for some reason. From Saga. I don't know why. It doesn't even really look like it. I guess it's the ears and like the shape of the face, like the same kind of cat-ish. That makes, okay, I'm not crazy. I never finished, well, I mean, I don't know if it's over. I've never kept, ooh, there's another sneak peek. I haven't kept up with Saga. I was reading that regularly as that came out, and then they took their like huge hiatus for a while. And then I haven't picked it up since then. I need to, but I can say that about a lot of comic books, and I'm sure a lot of anybody out there who also reads comics, I'm sure can say the same, that it's pretty easy to fall off. And then, yeah. So this guy's got, this is like a very distinct style that they're working at with here that are such primary colors, like literally just blues and reds, and like that's a primary orange. Like these are just like 8-pack Crayola kind of color energy in like a great way. Like to use those colors so well is impressive, but like definitely has that energy for sure. Oh, look, I'm already following them. Here's a cool thing. When I'm already following someone, I like to like, excuse me, try and scroll through and see the thing that I remember seeing that was like, I'm gonna follow you. Nothing's jumping out though here. Oh, is it this guy? No, but I like that. That's weird looking. Usually it's more of the creature stuff. I mean, the best way to tell is it would show I already have liked something of theirs in the past. But, oh wow, they've got a whole, holy crap. I love big cat round brush. Because I noted that in the very first one, when you look down, it's just straight up round brush, hard round brush. There's nothing to it. 9 times out of 10, you check the comment section of an artist, or you pop in a Discord, or you do all those things. Number one, what brushes do you use? What brushes do you use? What brushes do you use? Hard round, man. Look at this. That's it. Hard round brush. The most basic brush known to digital painting. I respect the hell out of that. They did a whole series on that. That's pretty fun. Big cat round brush. That pleases me. That's not a cat. Who's the cat? Is he the cat? Big cat round brush. The World of Cat Empire. They've got time lapses? I'm a fan of time lapses when it comes to stuff like this. Let's see. Maybe processes. It's gonna take a while to load. That's fine. We'll peek around as you can see that, right? Yeah. Just immediately establishes the light plane and the dark. Like immediate. Do we see that? Like that's how the form is shaped right off the cuff. And then all the details go in, but like from that first like 10 seconds, you kind of knew what we were looking at, right? The rest is just making it even better. This would be a good study too. Hard round. Hard rounds. Okay, so 2 study ideas now for upcoming timelines are singular brush for outline, right? No shape variety. And then apparently this, because this is I like this, just nothing but hard round. Doesn't look like they even changed the opacity, right? They just straight up said, let's go, right? I don't see any opacity to these brushes. It looks like they're just slapping it on as hard round and then paint. If they want a lighter color, if they want, they're painting it lighter, right? Same thing here, right? That they immediately, like that cat in the background is just 2 values and blocked in, but we knew exactly what we were looking at, like without question. Very nice blues and greens, and still their use of just that primary red is so effective. I wish you could scrub more easily and process videos on Instagram. That would be nice. Like, so I could like pause on a spot and like really iterate a point. That's so cool. So for anybody watching, this is Johann Schepig's art, a French-based illustrator in Tokyo. Give him a follow. Follow. I don't use Instagram really, as you can see. This is just all old, not old, but like not much stuff. And I do not post stories. I don't do anything. Oh, Instagram. Anyway, back to other art. This one, I saw like a dog and a dino, and I did not know what I was looking at. We'll look at what the video is, and it's like designing dead gods, dragon slaying sheepdog. Okay, that's adorable. There's something about like when they have like dogs doing like something very aggressive, right? Like super duper aggressive energy, but also they've got that one ear down. It looks almost like they're smiling, right? It's like the innocence of the animal, that the animal is just happy to please their master, but like they don't even know like their morality code, their mental code of animals are just, they just, I don't know, man. That's so cool. Ooh, I didn't even notice that you got my big old head in the way, right? What if we look at, right there, that little alligator head, little being absolutely massive. Okay, let's see what the video is with this. Is it just a, 5 minutes, so it's a full draw. Damn. Yeah, the animal thing. Oh, there's the one I was talking about. We had a dog growing up, aptly named, very, very smart as a child. We named him Buddy, right? He he was a cockapoo, cocker spaniel and a poodle. And he would hunt the living crap out of these poor bunnies that always seemed to find their way in our yard. And it was so sad. He would find like the babies' nests and he would flip them around, and I'm pretty sure he'd like snap their necks or something, and it was horrifying. But like he was just wagging his tail. He thought he was playing with them, and then he would just boop, leave them on our back porch at the door. Like, hey look, hey look, hey look. God, that was rough. I'm assuming that was a cocker spaniel in him that was much more like hunty. But yeah, that was rough. And it's the same idea though, where they don't even know. Like to them, the morality is non-existent in that sense. It's just nature. This is an art director at BioWare who I already follow. And now that I say that, I do recall seeing a lot of these Veilguard stuff. The Mass Effect. I remember this one for sure. Yep, liked. Totally remember this one. This was fun. I think I looked at this one on stream. This was a stream one not too long ago, like a few weeks back. So no need to reinvent the wheel here and look at everything again. But wow, they've got a lot of stuff. Holy cow. What am I... What? Do they have stuff organized in folders at all? Or are they just... Okay. What was that one? Is this? What is this? Tellurian. Passion Project. Visual story told through... Okay, so this is like a whole series of theirs. That makes more sense. I was like, holy crap, what game is that from that they just went all in? Their Star Wars stuff is cool. Dope. Sylvain Soral. Oh, at Umashiu Lovers. Project Unicorn with Phoenix. Oh, R.I.P. That's what this was from. From Phoenix Labs. One of the studios that got borked from a ongoing awesome development of visuals, but not much development of gameplay. Ah. I like it. Very Robloxy. Cute. Looks like they do a lot of environment pieces. What do their characters look like? Characters don't look bad either. Dang Ghost. Calvin and Hobbes. Can't go wrong with Calvin and Hobbes, right? That kind of stuff is so pretty. How they have this gorgeous painting. Gorgeous. And then for some reason, the idea that just the little super cartoony Calvin and a big old teddy bear tiger Hobbs. Just, I love the way. I can't remember the artist who made Calvin and Hobbes. I actually listened to a whole documentary on the creation of Calvin and Hobbes and how it transpired and everything that it went through. It was pretty cool. There was two. I wonder if it was from the same person that did like these docu-series. One was on Calvin and Hobbes, and the other was on R.L. Stine, which is also very, very cool to see. And here, like, you don't think of the the Akira, but with Mario, he's popping the shell. That's good. But no, there's a lot of cool things that, like, you know, when you're a child or something, and you have a thing you engage with, in this case, like Goosebumps, that like it grows with you in different ways. But it's cool to see like how you read it, you think it's cool, or you watch it, you play it, whatever it might be, whether it's games, movies, TV, comic books, novels. But there's so much going on. Like now as an adult, you get to hear of like, oh, the actual adult things, like the business aspects and the inspirations and the hurdles that they went through to get to where they were. And you have a bigger respect for it then, because you are no longer child enjoying their content. You have the nostalgia and appreciation for it, yes, but now you're also the adult who understands struggle a lot more and respects all of the stuff that it took to get to where you got to enjoy it as a kid. And it feels even more special that way then. At least to me. I've found that to be the case. Okay, last one is swords. I'm a sucker for some cool swords, right? There's always sword timber and stuff like that. People make cool stuff. We got a big old conch shell. We've got like the not bison, but like one of, you know, a skull you'd see out in the like Texas with an overgrown plant making into a sword. I think this is one of the coolest ideas. I don't know if I've seen this before. Probably have. I don't know, but I really, really love this concept. Like thematically, a very cool idea. And this one, like a king or prince trapped within the sword. Oh, and they're 3D. Okay, I was like, this texture of the wood looks very 3D to me, but I couldn't tell. It was. Spoiler. Yeah, that wooden one with the skull. Just the curvature of that too. That big old S curve. That is absolutely, I'm like smitten with this idea that it's just overgrown through the skull, but the skull then becomes, because like how many times do you go, maybe it's just me because I go hiking and that kind of stuff, and I love to do that as a kid too. You're walking and you're like, this is a good stick, right? Like, and you find a stick that you're like, this is good stick, and you just love it. There's something about it that's like weirdly ingrained in our human nature for some reason to just appreciate a good stick. Maybe it comes from an evolutionary standpoint that like we needed to find good tools and stuff out in nature. But yeah, that's a good stick. Like, you know what I mean? That's pretty good. And then just the low poly. You heard me yesterday or on Monday complaining about how the one high texture, like how high the one project was of that person's. Nice to see these are nice and low. Accurately so. They don't, you know, for the type that they want to convey, I think this looks like a decent amount of topology. Probably could go even lower. That was what my old leads, you're like, probably could go lower, man. And I'm like, I know I probably could, but do I need to? Like, what's the game's count? Do we need it? Like, what's our resources at? Is it really hitting a limit yet? I don't even in Marmoset they've got them so we can look at them. Oh, it's kind of weird when it's, I don't remember how to like create a pivot point in Marmoset, like a rotational pivot point. As you can see, I really don't know what I'm doing. I've not used Marmoset, but you see what I'm saying? Like the rotational point is like the center of the screen of the scene. I want to create a rotational point. like where I tap, but I don't know how to do that. Either way, these are cool. I really like these a lot. That wood one is 10 out of 10. And still keep scrolling. And the last one is no longer the Prince of the King. He put Shrek in there. That absolutely, I think that deserves a follow. Yeah, their other stuff, I don't like. Their painting and stuff like that is not quite up to snuff. They are clearly new, right? Newer artists, which is super cool, fine with me. Normally, I wouldn't necessarily be like, ooh, this deserves a follow, right? But you know what? You gave me a Shrek and a sword, and arguably one of my favorite sword designs. Boom. Milena Verge. Don't know. I did finally start updating my own art station. It's been forever since I've even bothered with this sucker. But I figured, again, I think I talked about it, since I'm using it so often now, I really should actually have stuff to show. So, you know, I've got the selfless, shameless plug on there. I've got my YouTube, Twitch, Blue Sky. My Blue Sky here is the same thing. Go follow Blue Sky. This needs more followers. I need more things going on there. I refuse to use Twitter anymore. So, but no, so I chunked all this stuff down. Let's so like this, I just kind of combined like all my old portfolio work. So 2017 portfolio work, right? I didn't even like credit the references at this point because I'm like, whatever, these are, I think this is like Sam Nassour. He did a little drawing, and this is, I don't know. But like, just kind of combined all these projects, got rid of a couple extra ones. This is old, like this is even 2017. I think this is even older than 2017. This Kong Pong, old as hell. But I couldn't get rid of them, right? Like there's something, like none of these look bad, right? And we can see growth, right? Like it's cool to see growth as you grow and get better. Obviously, I'm not doing 3D now, or it's not in my plan in the moment. So we'll see how good my 3D gets, or maybe I stagnate at these. But yeah, I kept Skeletor because this was a fun piece. I liked this. This was silly. I could have rendered this in a much better way. Like I feel like this was not like a great way to showcase it. But I was new to Blender, and I was like, yeah, I just want to do everything inside of Blender. This was dumb though. This could have gotten a much better, 1,000 times better. Maybe one day I'll re-render him because he's a fun character. And then I kept the He-Man as its own sculpt project too. This one was fun too. I really like this guy. He turned out pretty well. I blopped in, like, I started to do some of the 2D stuff, so I was like, oh, I'll just slap in some illustration stuff. Then I was throwing in some old work things that I've got too then, so I've got some professional work on here. These were like things I did for the Olympics, pins that I made of different like posters of theirs that were animated and stuff. Nothing crazy, like these were nothing like to write home about by any means, but it was something. And then like some of the character work I did. Shaun White, I had to go back and forth with his team on like stupid details. A little leader Hosian boy. I did like all a poop ton of these like courses, like snowboarding, skiing, downhill stuff. So made a few props and then propagated and lit and did all that for like so many of them. They all looked and felt the same, not gonna lie, at the end of the day. Like, they're just slight variations. It wasn't meant to be something crazy. And then some more environments I did for a Rec League game. So, like, it was a fighting game. It's like, one of the, like, I made all the props in here. I lit it. I sculpted, I modeled everything. I textured everything. I lit everything. I set dressed it. Fun environment work. I did enjoy doing the environments. This was pretty fun. It was harder because a fighting game, you're very like bound by the limitations and the camera angles and stuff like that. But yeah, these were all fun. This is when I did not do the set dressing for this. One of the other artists, Kai, did. He did an awesome job on this one. I modeled a lot of the stuff though. Modeled and painted a lot of these assets. I did the boat That was one of the bigger ones. Like I did the boat, some of the crap down here. I did all the vegetation, so like the trees I did, and all the plants and all the flowers. I think I worked on the boxes and the barrels. I don't. It gets to a point when you're doing stuff. You just, yeah, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I did these buildings. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did the buildings too. I did most of the props. I feel like he did the bridge and like the groundwork for stuff, and then I did most of the other props. I don't even remember. Again, lots of stuff, man. This one was pretty much... I don't have a lot of pictures for this because this was like released after the studio kind of pooped out. But yeah, this was a fun one. This isn't a great angle to see everything, but like painted all these background pieces to make it feel like, so when you move, it actually has this cool like parallax feel that you're deep in a cave. A couple of like the bigger props that I did that I thought turned out cool, that I thought could get their own. Since I didn't have too many images of this one, I was like, oh, I'll just at least have a couple images of the props that were fun to make. And then here is another one where I didn't do too much on this one. I think I did like, I touched up a couple things. I made the grill and like the food and the bag of charcoal. I think that was my boombox. I made the car, like that old pickup truck. I don't know if I did those spindles, those big spools. I don't know. I did the porta potty in the back. Those are all my trees again. Like, I don't know. Again, it's you get lost in the weeds when you're doing environment work for a studio where like everyone's collaborating and doing stuff. But yeah. So at least I have at least some of these things up. I was gonna put on the characters too. So like I did big mechs and all that kind of stuff. But my favorite mech never got finished because it was after I got let go from there when stuff was kind of crumbling. And I don't know if it ever released. I don't think it did, but also the game kind of crapped the bed. So I don't know if the game's even doing anything. I was debating on what I wanted to post for that because I only have like one. I did just like the environment. I worked on like 100 different mech pieces, but I only did one from the ground up that was in game, and actually was like one of the main promotional images we used a lot. But then the other one was it was like a crossover collaboration with another company, and so that's why it's like a little like iffy on the posting of that. But it looked cool. It was like a big old robot with like a dog head and boxing glove and all this stuff. It was almost done textured. Like I got the low poly done, got everything baked in there, but it wasn't fully textured. But definitely looked cool. So that'll be updated here too. And then I'll eventually do stuff with my 2D work here, so it'll reflect cooler stuff for sure. For now though, I wanted to get back and do the Psylocke, my Psylocke piece, right? So when I ended drawing on Monday, I stopped and I was not happy, right? I thought Psylocke looked like crap. Wasn't a fan. Her pose just wasn't doing it for me, right? Something about it didn't hit right. And so naturally I went back at it yesterday and I struggle bust a little bit. And I kind of remade her entirely almost. Like the exact same energy, but just better. And hopefully I can show you guys and you guys will agree that it looks a lot better now. A little piece of chocolate. So while Rivals loads up so I can look at the costume, I'm going to swap. I've got my coffee here too. But I'm all done. I drank that real quick. So just popping in Rivals real quick. So again, we can take a gander at Psylocke's outfit. Simplifying it though, because this her Rivals outfit is just like a very, I don't want to say over designed, right? But it is very, there's a lot more detail in this than the comic version that it's referencing. What do we got? Oh, that's just giving me a heads up that is ending. In one day, don't worry, I did everything. I got all the cool stuff and I barely even played the mode. Oh my goodness. Fun fact, I got to Diamond 2. And then I think I won and then I lost. Got to Diamond 2 with a win, lost. And then I went to Diamond 3. And then I won. And now I'm almost back at Diamond 2, I think. Right? Yeah. One more win from Diamond 2. Goal is Grandmaster, at least, before we have to get the ranked reset just on, I think, the 14th or 15th. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Been playing a lot of Strange. And look at this. Look at this. Almost Lord. Which means nothing, really, because it just means you've played it a lot. Doesn't mean you're good at the character. Trust me, I've seen plenty of people pick something and they've got the Lord icon. That doesn't mean shit. That just means the assumption is you hope they know how to play the game then, at least, because you have so much time in on the character. But really, that doesn't mean squat. Okay. So, do you see what I'm talking about? That, like, her outfit is pretty overly designed. Like, the original costume just has, like, a single waistband. Or up here, like, there's so much more going on, this intricate detail on her chest and her arms and stuff, that I might find a balance and simplify pieces here, too. And I think I'm just going to eliminate the sheath entirely just because it doesn't fit for what I'm drawing at the moment. But anyway, so here's Psylocke in all of her Marvel Rivals glory. If we were to switch now, let me grab the iPad. It stinks. I talk about trying to be way more prepared, right? I can only be so prepared because the iPad, I can't actually, like, I can't have this set up. It's not like my Cintiq in the other room where it's just like, oh, just let me wheel it, like, pull it towards me. Holy crap, I haven't paid attention outside. It is really snowing. Darn. I should have, when I woke up, put down salt on the driveway. I really should have. But it was cold, and I didn't want to. Oh, well. So I'm rocking some other lo-fi today. It was just video game lo-fi and chill. A lot of stuff from Melody Zones, Pixel Boy, and Daydusk. If you want to give any of them a listen, they do some really clean gaming lo-fi stuff. There's good stuff. If you like it, go throw them a follow, throw them a listen. I'm gonna crank it up a little. I can barely hear it. That seems good, right? Oh, okay. But yeah, no, I can't, like, what I was saying with the iPad, I can't, like, as easily have the iPad already set up and ready to go because the tool doesn't, you know, the setup doesn't really allow for that. It's this giant, ugly arm that's sitting next to my, you know, attached to my desk right now that needs to hook on a big old board and then slap on the iPad. You know, there's a lot of, like, pieces that go into doing it rather than just pulling it towards me. But I'm getting better. I'm getting quicker. And then I have to plug it in too, right? So there's like so many extra little steps that make it feel like I'm struggling, but it's not. It's just the nature of how it needs to be done. But yeah, without further ado, it's almost plugged in, almost all set up. Where did I put my pencil? And we can take a peek now at Psylocke in all of her new glory. So let's swap over cameras or scenes, right, to iPad, right? Boom. Cool. Now, we can see all the other things I've been drawing. Nothing. We know what I've been drawing, right? Still haven't touched this more. My Monster Hunter piece. She does look cool, but this is as far as I got while watching Prometheus. Again, amazing, amazing movie. No, check out the butt. So much different. So from my last stream, I'm going to show you guys so you guys have a point of reference to compare, right? This is where I'm at. And this is where I started. So when you're going through the design process, I found it's really hard to do it on stream because my brain is more analytical right now with things, and I have a harder time like breaking that. So I'm talking and communicating, which is like working that part of my brain. And then so when I'm drawing, my brain is just like draw thing. And it's harder to like abstract the thought. So if we look at this difference, right, we can see quite a bit. So I messed with the arm a lot. I messed with the butt's angle. I messed with the thongs angle, which a lot of things, but you can see the whole thing. And then one thing too is like this felt from a visual perspective, right? almost like we shouldn't be looking at her butt because it was like a weird angle and she's like just jumping and I didn't like it. Didn't feel like there was a focal and I didn't want the actual butt to be the focal. So without having some sort of eye line, it felt weird to me and I really wasn't a fan of it at all, to be honest. And so switching over and making her like look back at us, the viewer, and giving like this like almost like a smug, playful look, I think really helps sell it. So yesterday I redid the whole pose, right? Completely redid a lot of it, pushed and pulled a lot of shapes. And I really fixed the sword too. It looked like a little dagger, right? And then boom, now it looks like an actual sword. But no, as always, as soon as I was done and I was like, okay, I'm done for now. I need to stop and get other stuff done. I went grocery shopping and all that kind of stuff. I got to the point where I need to always step back, take a look, and then change stuff again. And so there's two things that stood out right away to me that I wanted to address this morning and see if I can make them look better. Both are sizing things. So the first thing being the foot here. I'm going to turn off the color, the block in, just because I feel like it throws off. So if we look at the size of things per foot, hold on. I renamed this finally. It was like some other brush that I've tweaked so many times now, and now it's my lining brush that I use for a lot of this kind of sketchy stuff. And I never named it. It's whoever, JJ Harrison, thank you. From 2021, I must have gotten this, and then now I've tweaked your brush plenty of ways. Thank you. And it is now my inking brush. But so if we look at the sizes, right? We've got foot, hand, foot, and butt are kind of like big focals, right? And then face. All of them kind of have same energy, right? Same size. Boop, 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 boop. Two boops, right? Very similar. But not only beyond that, these feet are in different spaces, right? Yet this foot somehow looks bigger to me. So I bungled that up. So I wanted to literally just grab it and shrink it down just because it felt a little too big for the perspective in which we, the viewer, see it at, right? It should be a little smaller, seeing that it is further away from us. And then having two things the same size. Like I've said before, if everything's big, nothing is big. So just keep us simple. I'm not like, I don't want to overly shrink it, but I just want to like, so if we pull it, so this is what it was before, right? These are very much almost identical sizes when you like that you could argue that was like, that's what it would look like if they were side by side. They're not side by side though. So why are they sized in such a way? So I just want to shrink it down like that, maybe a little less. I don't want to, like I said, overdo it, but you definitely want to make sure that it feels natural, that one is definitely smaller than the other. I feel like you could even do a smidge smaller than that. Yeah. I feel like it helps the butt look bigger too. If the foot is a little smaller, you know, beside it. To compare. Yeah, just that little bit goes a long way, I feel like. Cool. So the other point, so the feet felt too similar. They still feel pretty big. But again, like I said, I don't want to overcompensate. The other thing was her arm. So it's the same idea of how big things should look in space. And so I wanted to adjust her arm now. So the big problem here is that I want her to look strong, right? I don't ever want, like, characters like this, they are strong, they are powerful characters. I don't want to make them look not powerful still. And so I feel like what I end up doing is stuff like this, where even if the perspective is not supposed to be, her arm looks really big, right? Her arm width is like almost the same as the leg, which isn't bad, but again, the perspective we're playing with, it feels just a hair too large for me, for my liking. Me, for my money, you know? Also, this curve didn't make sense. It was supposed to come down. That was bugging me for a while, so that was a random thing that I noticed that I'd never ended up changing. Don't mind me there. Okay. But so now this piece. So I don't know how to solve it. So let's get rid of the head right now because it's just needless noise. So I just kind of want to almost snag this part of her arm, right? The front line of the bicep. I'm not quite sure how to resolve the outfit detail. And just thin it, right? Just something like that. Not quite sure. So let's erase a little here just so we've got some wiggle room. Just because I feel like sometimes when we start adjusting stuff, it gets really messy and it's hard to see what we're looking at, right? So if we erase stuff, we're giving ourselves a little breathing room, which will hopefully be all we need. If we're making the space smaller, I'm just trying to see if I can tweak the that part of the arm a little, the armpit space. So again, give some breathing room here. Oh, I really should have put salt down. It is so much snow. Man, yesterday I made note, or Monday I made note that like there was geese that like blocked the sun. Now it's just white everywhere. Ugh, gross. Okay, so how do we do this? My question to myself is that I'm internalizing. Do I rotate so that you play up the idea that this is bigger and getting smaller, right, in space? Or do I simply raise it up so it feels a little thinner? I think a combination of both options will help solve what I'm trying to fix here. So let's try it. Just a slight rotation. Like I was like 5 degrees, right? Nothing crazy. And then raise it up a smidge. Maybe, come on, pencil. There we go. So it feels like the forearm then is really long, which again, from the perspective is kind of okay. But I wonder if we instead pull this in. Yeah, that's it. That's the move. That's the move, team. I think that's it. Because now it's just, I didn't want it. Like I said, I still want it to be big and strong. I'm not saying it's not. I lied. Because does that really solve too much? Like it does a little. But it still feels pretty, I think the feeling of the arm still feels kind of the same, right? Crap. I lied. I thought it looked better. There's something about the flatness that I like of the original. Whoops. Well, let me slap in the like close it out and see. Maybe it'll sit fine with me once I see the rest of it together. Sometimes you're just looking at something and it feels weird because you've been looking at it one way for so long and then the details aren't lined up. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I want her arm to still be strong, to be big and beefy. So I'm okay with that, I think. Yeah, we're cool. We're cool. We cool. I do want to fix this. Just looks kind of weird now, though. The little inner arm fold. So I'm just gonna play with it a smidge and see if I can make it look a little better. Just a little. Since we redid it, it does just, like I've talked about before, redoing one thing, you kind of have to always be sure to take a step back again and reassess the whole thing. Because like one change to this might also change 3 other things, right? And you don't even notice. So keeping that in mind is important. So with the hand, actually, since we are here, I wanted to look at what the details of her hand actually looked like. So is it just, it's not fingerless. It also cuts at the pinky. So it cuts up. Okay, interesting. So it goes, is it even a glove technically? It's just the sleeve, essentially, yeah. There's no glove, it's the whole sleeve. So there's no break, but it does terminate at like kind of here, right? And then entirely goes up from this space. Which line work wise, I'm not sure how that's going to look. It's going to look kind of screwy. But, and then stop moving, Psylocke. So it wraps around here and kind of goes up like that too. Something like that, but it goes a little higher. So let's darken that to feel more impactful. Oh. There we go. It was too round then. Too many round shapes on that. Okay. That looks about right. This part looks weird, but I think once we have color in it, it'll look a little better. And if not, then we'll reassess again. But for now, I think we at least have detail on the hand. I didn't know what I was looking at with the hand before. That feels better to me. But I think actually maybe it's this curve that feels off. So I wonder if it's... Yeah, I wonder if we actually just kind of hide it like that instead of accentuating it. We just kind of... And then her pinky's going to be in full, you know, flesh tone rather than... Yeah, I like that more. I like it. I like it a lot. So now her arm details are kind of what we're throwing me to, because there's like... They're buckles without being buckles. Like they're just kind of there. So I don't want to go too ham with it. But she does have that elbow pad. And then this one is just looking weird to me over here. Like these rings just are almost too overpowering from a visual noise perspective. Like the other ones aren't too bad, but this one just keeps feeling off. And I'm not sure how to resolve that. So I wonder if we just kind of... We tuck it away actually. Like it is actually just going... I wonder if we do that with all of them and we just don't see this front part, and they just get an illusion of resolution. Like, we don't know exactly how this image finishes with these little rings, but we know there are rings there, kind of thing, right? Yeah, that doesn't make sense either. This is a weird detail that I'm not a fan of. Let's try and just get rid of them. They've been bugging me since I first drew them. So this is one of the other things I want to do address today too. So this isn't like one of my weird things I just came up with on the spot. Like, this was bugging me from the beginning that I didn't know how to solve. There's a lot of times when you're looking at designs, you're like, this makes sense. And then when you go to do the thing yourself, you're like, this doesn't make sense. Like, I take it back. I'm very confused. None of this is right. And that is what's happening here. I almost wonder if all of these curves are wrong. Let's just kind of wipe the hand, right? Let's clean slate this and let's try again. Okay. So there are 3 bands, correct? 3 on her forearm. And then that shoulder armor. Shoulder armor here. While we're here, what is it? It's not quite the shape that I... That's fine though. We'll just kind of fake it. Oopsies. It's pointed, but I feel like I have it too pointed, the shoulder armors. Rounded, just a smidge, right? Kind of weird. I don't really like the armor on her. From a design perspective, I'm not a fan of it, but it'll give good color variation with silver on her then at least. Okay, so I'm gonna crack open a new layer and just kind of play with this. So how do you solve the idea of a circle coming out without overly drawing a circle? Can we do something like this where it's... Can we get it? Psylocke, why you gotta have a design like this, girl? The old costume didn't have this. Because it is definitely under her arm, right? Can we fudge that then, though? Because this is coming from, like... Technically, I don't even know if you'd see it. Because, like, it would be, like, right here, realistically. Like, actually right along this line. They'd be here. It's like we wouldn't really see it. So I wonder if I can just say never mind. Because there is already going to be the hair flowing there. So it's not like we need detail. And it is giving me grief. So I wonder, you know what? F it. There's no little rings. Not today. There are still 3 wrist, like, straps, though, that I do want to account for. I wonder if this is the curve here is throwing it off too. The perspective doesn't feel right. I wonder if that was part of it. Just have one wrap or one line. To showcase the material that it's like, oh, that's something separate, right? So we can look at that and understand that, oh, that feels, even just line work wise without color variation, oh, that's different than what's underneath it, right? So what I'm doing, instead of having the rings then, I want to, normally I would keep this flush, right? So like right here where the wrist wraps are, like the forearm wraps, I would simplify this shape and say it's flat, right? One big line. But because I wanted some sort of variation here with these rings that I'm eliminating now, what I'm doing here is just giving a little bit of rigidness, or ridges, I guess, right? So it's the idea that these actually are thicker. Normally, I'd simplify this. But because I wanted some sort of detail on this arm, that's a little too much, though. Like, I want it ever so slightly. And only on the one side, not on both sides. Because we're not going to do it with the legs. And if we're not going to do it with one, we can't. I don't want to overdo that. I just want that to feel a little more intriguing up there. It felt very boring. But okay, so we've got those. We said FU to that wrist wrap. We've got this armor kind of blocked in for the shoulders. She does have like a really big bow on her hip then, right? That I don't know if I want to draw. Excuse me. And then for her thigh, ooh, I don't know how we resolve this either then. Now my brain is curious. If you do something like this, though, you offset the rings as just slight things that they're alluding to. Because looking back at the old, I did like having that. I kind of like that, though. I like having some variety there, like I said. Because then we can have that little pop of silver. So I think that works. So they're just kind of hinted at rather than being in your face. So the problem I was running into here that I was saying was the her leg here. So her, ooh, these colors are going to look weird now, yeah. I will adjust this later. So the colors of her, I'm sorry, the straps on her leg here. So she's got one on her left leg, but two on her right. But as you can see, I kind of fudged the ever-living heck out of this right leg. Like it doesn't make sense when you look at it, but it's okay that it doesn't make sense. But then when you try and define shapes on it, suddenly it's like, okay, wait a sec, hold on. That doesn't look right. So I think when in doubt, dark chocolate it out. Right? Dark chocolate solves things. So I'm gonna pop my other dove. So these dove always have like a phrase inside. I don't know if anybody knows like inside the wrapper. And it's funny because like half of them are real dumb, but some of them are sweet. But there's only like 6 of them, I feel like. So you get the same one over and over again. Or that's their way of being like, hey, stop eating so much chocolate. This one says all progress is worth celebrating. And I agree with that. 100%. So that one's cute. Like I said, some of them are cute. Some of them are not. One was like, you're eating this while hiding from your children, aren't you? No. I don't got kids. I'm eating chocolate because I like chocolate. Not hiding it from anybody. Dumb. Also, don't shame me even if I did have kids and I was hiding, which I'm not. Okay. So, because they're pretty high. So realistically, we would see like but you see how I'm worried that'll get lost then, right? So I'm trying to, because realistically, the thigh exists in this space alone. Like, that's it. It's foreshortened and tweaked in such an extreme way that I've kind of backed myself into a corner with this now, unfortunately. If I want, I can always, again, omit the detail. I don't need to have every bit. It's okay. But how would it look, let's say, if we actually accent and frame this butt instead and do something like this? Not a fan. But I'll try it one more time to see if maybe. So that would add the detail, but it also kind of like changes the energy of what the butt is that I was trying to establish already, right? So what if we frame it a little harder that way? That's not too bad. Putting that line in that it's so thin then, I wonder if that just becomes distracting. Kind of. We'll just leave it like that, and we'll see if when we add color, if it looks better. We'll go from there once color's in. We'll see. We'll leave it there as like a temporary though. I'm not sold. Because we got like big open butt and then like cut off butt. But it does make sense. So we got butt cheek, we fixed the foot, we fixed the arm, we adjusted the back to account for that. I want a little bit more shadow here. Yeah, that looks nice. And then a little bit more up here. much. Okie dokie, okie dokie. So then we did the hand, we did the wrists. We'll pull this guy in now because this is sticking out too much. After we did these little rings, I don't need this part to stick out as much then. Got the butt, got the leg, got the feet. Is there any details on the legs that I really need to, like there are, like technically these straps go a little different, but I don't care. Like one is higher than the other. And I drew like, I don't know why I drew there's like a wrap around the calf I drew. There is not, like this doesn't exist. I don't know what this was. Let's see what it looks like without it real quick. I'm not sure what, looking at the detail now, I don't know where I got this shape from exactly. Because there's no like high boot cut thing or something. Like that's what it was implying, right? Was there was like a boot cut, but there definitely is not here. So this needs to be softer. This is very like elongated now, and it doesn't feel like elegant and round. So I'm reassessing how this, like the curve is alluded to where her leg is bending. Just to give a little bit more softness. But then where does the actual pant? Then I guess this would start here then, right? So there's just so many rings right there that's going on. And then the pant actually starts all the way up there. And I'm not doing any, that's enough detail on this damn leg. Like I'm not messing with that more. If anything, we can cut this in. Ooh, goodness. Huge eraser. We just straight up cut it in. Whoa, 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 iPad. Okay. That feels better. Just a little thinner. But now the ankle feels real fat. Her calf was making the rest of the leg feel very stumpy, like the lower leg. Despite there being foreshortening, obviously, it still felt weird. So I'm just trying to play with real quick, seeing how I can maybe adjust that curve of her calf to kind of balance a little better the lower leg without being too stumpy. I think that works. Okay, so that frame's still a little thick, but I mean, it is getting squished and being pushed really hard. So I like that. Ooh, what else? What else should we adjust? I wanted to take a look at her thong spot, like her booty here. Strictly because the curve feels weird. And I'm wondering if I can adjust this curve a little better. So I wonder if we give it more shape. So less thong, but then like curves the butt better. I'm not sure which would look better. I just wanted to kind of, that was just a thought the other day. So really thin versus thicker. Thicker doesn't really look much better. Wonder how to resolve that though, because it does feel like it needs to have more of a curve to it though. So I wonder if we just keep the general shape, but then this curve is more strong as we approach the top. So it's a little flat, and then up here it does more of a heavy curve. So it cuts in a little more. I don't know. So there's this, or let me get a better angle. There's this one, or I think that way looks better. Or if we just heavily darken the spot too, then a little more. Yeah. Okay. More butt. Neat. So then we need some detail on the sword handle, just so I've got something. So what does it look like? There's like an intricate pattern that I don't want to draw. It's too much detail. Not that I don't want to draw, but like this piece, I don't want detail to that extent. So I'm wondering if what are the shapes? What do they look like? I'm assuming they're like flower or butterfly-ish. I know it's hard to really tell what's going on. They're just cool filigree. We just play with. I don't like that that looks like an old. So when I worked at a casino company many, 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 many moons ago, right? I had a lead. And or no, it was the art director. The art director, I think his role was, right? He loved classic cars. And so when we did fire, which spoiler alert, working at a casino company, you do a lot of fire, you do a lot of gold, you do a lot of sevens, and you do a lot of gems, right? He always wanted, he'd pull up like the same image all the time. He'd be like, no, 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 Britton, look at this, look at this, look at this. And he'd show me the same freaking thing of fire. And it was like the old school car flames that he loved. He loved that pattern. I'll pull it up in a second. For those that don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm just mindlessly adding this detail in, by the way. I don't know if this is going to look right or good. So this looks too, like, flamey then. Let's, course correct a smidge. Because I like this curviness. That's how this one is too, right? So like a big old crescent moon. So these two these beans and these shapes that I'm slapping in here, I need to stick to a design language, and it was just conflicting shapes I was just slapping down, which, you know, is not quite the look we're going for. Again, we're just making this up on the fly from the vibes. Being careful not to get too detailed. I don't know. I don't know if this is even worth it, because I feel like the detail's probably going to be lost or too detailed. I don't know. Oy, oy, oy. I'm trying right here to like round it so it feels like it's like the end of a sword. Cool, we're calling it. Anyway, what I was going to say is the flames, right? Let's pull up. Hold on. Are flames. Ooh, and two other things I'll note. That is not what I want. Okay, sorry. Chatting. This one. Boom. Completely random, not pertinent to what we're talking about in any way, shape, or form. But when I went to go pull up Chrome to see the to pull up the car flames, we've got Ultra Street Fighter 2 Sagat and Blanca up for pre-order. Though disappointing that it looks like they're increasing the price now. One of the things that Jada's been doing really well is they're $25. That's a bummer. They are $25, and that's what everyone's been like, that is a steal. These are amazing figures at $25. Suddenly $30? I know that seems small, right? But percentage-wise, that's a big jump. And I don't like it. $25 is a sweet spot with these kind of figures, but now suddenly making them $30, when these don't have anything different, right? Like Blanca in the lineup isn't bigger than Bison. Like Bison was 25 and he has a articulated cape, right? A wired cape. This one's a different color scheme, but like this one, the same difference. That's kind of a bummer because these effects aren't like Sagat's. Honestly, I don't like these effects that Jada does. These aren't that useful. They don't look that good. They don't really feel that great. So like Sagat's just Sagat. He doesn't come with anything extra. Like what are his accessories? He's got head and hand. So literally the same exact as every other character. That's a bummer. Especially because now there's another company. So if we look up Street Fighter, so there is a Storm Collectibles. They're $26.99. And they're trying to kind of combat Jada and be like, no, we can make our own cheaper version. Because Storm Collectibles are usually pricey, right? Like I've got a couple Storm behind me right now. They're like $90-ish ballpark. Like I've got this Goro behind me on the bodybuilding shelf and a Zangief. But they were trying to make it like, hey, look, we can do a $25 cool figure with that license too. But now, I don't know, $30. That's a bummer. Anyway, all I was getting at are these. I would see this picture, so help me God, Chad, he would bring up these pictures all the time. It's like, yeah, but we need like that hot rod flame. And I'm like, okay, sure. And so like everything just became the same. Like every flame we ever drew was like, yeah, but does it look like the hot rod flame? I'm like, okay, sure. You say so, boss. Honestly, some of the stuff did look cool. It ended up looking cool. But it was just funny when someone loves a thing, right? And that just like, I'm gonna reference it all the time. We gotta use it. We got it. Whenever we got flames, give me them thin. It was this curvature here that he was always dead set on. This look of flames, which to me doesn't necessarily look like flames. I look at that and I think of it's a car thing. Like I don't, for some reason, this type of flame doesn't to me look like a fire necessarily. It feels like this. Like it feels like something I'd see on an old classic car. Which again is still cool, but I guess the anal weird part of me was like, yeah, but it's not like I want to draw actual fire. Anyway, back to Psylocke's butt, right? Okay. As you were. So what did we just do? We looked at the hands, the sword. The sword is what we added detail in. There's technically, the cloth is on the sheath, right? Do your thing. Grab your sword, please. Grab the sword. Seriously. There you go. Okay, yeah, it's just on the sheath, not on her. So the big question now is, do I do this? This being her bow. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do her bow or not. Because I feel like it's like extra visual noise in the way. Not sure. But anyway, so let's look at the base parts of her outfit that we do have. We've got the legs. Maybe we do the leg detail now, right? We did the sword detail. Now let's make up some legs. So how do these work? They go up the heel, loop around the foot. So we don't need to see that, but we can do something with the heel. So it'll be like going up. Follow the leg a little. Curves with the calf a bit, right? Let's redo this. Hold on. So it'll go up, curve with the calf, fall down, and then have like a bubble where the inner part of the knee is, it looks like. And then have like a little bit extra. And then it kind of like does like a weird little wiggly. Maybe that's too much. Too much of a wiggle. Let's simplify it. And then it cuts to like a wing here. Again, I'm missing a lot of this detail. That's perfectly fine. This is a very intricate pattern on her leg, and it's not the important part of her outfit, right? Like that's not what's selling this image. So I don't want to over design it. But it is part of it, so I do still want to see. I might cut it, I might not. If it feels like it's too competing, then we just cut it, because I'm not trying to distract from the actual image at hand. I just want to make sure it looks cool. And the original Psylocke outfit, it's just straight up pants, like tights. There's no extra detail like this in it. So it's not like I couldn't get rid of it and it would be okay. So this curve needs to be even stronger because it's coming towards us more. Again, we'll see how it looks with color, because right now it does look a little busy. I wonder if we get rid of this line here now, because it's just kind of getting in the way. It just looks a little messy, right? So my worry is this is gonna like detract from, as silly as this is, like the butt, the clean color of the butt just being popping out. So we'll see. I don't know. And then did I just draw that on there? I did. Crap, wrong layer. Not that it matters. I'll probably combine them all in a bit, but for the sake of like being able to toggle things on and off, I like for detail work like this that I might simplify, it might change. I kind of like having it its own layer so that you can just toggle and be like, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Am I selling something or am I not, right? So we'll see how that works. Let's replicate that same kind of pattern on this leg. It looks like identical pattern, right? So we could essentially do the same thing. So it'll go up, cut in, and then we just have a not the sexiest of drawing right now, I know, but I knew this point would kind of be more chill, more detail work today. Because since I took forever yesterday off stream to resolve like the actual design, I was hopeful that like, oh, now I can just kind of cruise along and do some details and not be like bogged down. But you know me, I get bogged down with anything because I am a dingus. So even this stuff that shouldn't be, I'm still bogging. Don't mind me, just bogging. All right, we'll see. We'll see how that color looks. So since we are here, let's slap on for the sake of just getting the vibes down. Let's get some color in here. Just so let's duplicate this. Duplicate. And then let's commit and combine the layers now on this duplicated one. Make this the reference so that the colors fit based off of where I'm slapping them. So the handle, how do we look at this? So we're going to just color pick real quick and easy. Butt color. Technically that's not leg, right? That is the purple. The purple. Purple. Well, that's going to be silver, right? That's leg. But this got completely thrown off now, the arm area. Just slapping colors in. I'm not doing much. Just getting an idea. I'll obviously go through and paint things to look nice later. But later is not right now. I'm kind of okay with this. Where's the pixel that's closing this off? How is that not reading as completely good enough? And then the sword itself is like, ooh, the sword itself has a cool pattern. I didn't realize. I wasn't really looking at it. Got like this reverse sawtooth energy going on. So I'm just going to get rid of this stuff right now because this is not where it's supposed to be. Man, this poor iPad. Using it as much as I have been, it is definitely being like, can you slow down? I'm getting old. No. You draw when I say you draw, iPad. New iPads are expensive. I don't want to deal with that right now. Here we just have too much. We can see where we shrunk the foot then, right? Oopsies. So for those at home wondering, no, it is not stopped snowing. So it doesn't look like it's like sticking too much, which is always nice to see that it's just snowing, not like intensely getting like piled up. But okay, so let's see if we do her wraps, let's say, are just like a lighter purple then, just for now. We'll illustrate the point better, possibly later. But just so they feel like they are. Or do we do more blue? Let's do that. What if we make them just a hint more blue too? A little more blue, a little lighter. Like that, it's hard because I want them different, but not too different. And that's getting too different. What if we don't go lighter, we go darker? No, because hers are definitely, I want lighter on the arms. Whatever, this will be fine for now, just to illustrate that these are separate pieces. Oh, I forgot. That's not glove anymore, right? That is exposed hand. Ooh. Too far. Finger. Use the same silver. This is where I want to see if this looks messy or not. This is the real gauge, if you will, if this looks good or stupid. The real gauge won't come until we have the arms and everything into, so I'm not gonna over judge it because, like I said before, can't really tell until you've got the full picture to work with. So I didn't close off that little space. That's fine. I'll be lazy and just hand paint it. Boop. Okay. Yeah, I feel like this is very silver heavy now with that shiny silver. That doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. Well, is there somewhere else that I think maybe once we have the earring, and then maybe I put in one of these like buckles here, and that'll help because then if we have a balance of like this negative space has no silver right now, so I wonder if we fill it with something like that so that there's some silver there too. I think that would look good. And then there's no other silver on her outfit necessarily. And we're not drawing the sheath for the sword. Yeah, let's do that though. Let's block in like these little silver boys, like the little rings maybe. How does she look without lines? Now let's try that. Go back to our liner brush, go to a dark black, and just kind of, so like, where does it look like? I would say maybe right here. How do the rings look, by the way? Are they just big old? Yeah, nothing crazy. But technically, they're part of the knot, so we could always do, yeah, like. Silver piece there, and then maybe like a smaller piece there. I like that. Because even if we don't draw the full thing, then there's at least a balance of color, right? Because before there was like, it was void of silver up here by her butt. So I want to kind of block in now the sword. Now that I looked at that sword, I really want to draw the sword. Oh, this was the original head I drew. That's funny. When I blocked it in, I was like, what if she's looking and we see her face? Nope, that was ugly. Get rid of that. Now we got the new face. We'll line that out in a bit. Let's do the sword maybe now, and then maybe I'll look at drawing the face, and then I'll need to resolve the arm too as to what's going on with the new arm. So this pattern, right, is a pretty interesting one, that it's this cool like saw. No, don't put it away. Is there an emote that takes it out? Nope, doesn't keep it out. Okay, so I can't zoom in because it'll get lost. But the idea is keeping in mind that we're going back in space. So it'll start off pretty big, right? I'm just debating on how I want to angle it that we see it. It definitely needs to recede, but I feel like if I do this, it might recede too early. And then just become like blobs, which I don't think is. Maybe. Then the sword has like two different silvers. There's like the silver that we see. The sword, yeah, the blade itself looks like it has two. So let's do that. Let's take the silver, and the one is going to be darker. And a little purple still, let's say. And then the other is going to be more like bright silver without any color. I don't know how much I like this purple. I think I'm going to change it to a little blue. I always like the metals having blue makes more sense. Just with all the purple, I thought purple would look okay. But I don't like it. It looks weird. more blue. So take the old silver. Instead of going purple, let's go darker and just like the smallest hint of blue. There we go. That looks better. I like that more. So now the sword has some detail to it too. And it feels like it's actually like receding now a little better. Yeah, so the only thought I'm still debating is this. Like some sort of movement of this guy. Are there rings at the end of it? No. But there would be like, technically you could argue there'd be like more coming this way and coming down. But then like we're losing this heavy oomph. So that's just the only point right now that I'm like really debating what to do. Because I feel like if we just do like a little, maybe that's fine. I don't know, because I feel like that is an iconic part of her outfit still, is having like that long drapiness. But I also just don't want it to overpower the design, or the pose more so, right? Curious then if we just slap color in here to kind of see what it looks like. Just like if there is a, because the red right now is very in one spot, but if we kind of get an idea of what it would look like elsewhere, that'll determine for me if I want it or not, right? Okay, so my initial reaction is I like it, but it just needs to be smaller, maybe. They do like the extra red, but this feels too far out. So yeah. Let's say F it for now. And let's focus on her head now. So we can get a little bit more stuff actually done today. I feel like all I've been doing is refining stuff rather than doing new work. So it's been cleaned up heavily, but let's do more. Okay, so her hair is what I kind of wanted to peek at, like what this design looks like. Again, all super duper duper flat cuts, right? She got her big hoop earrings, which hopefully will help a little bit more with the silver like we talked about. Her hair goes, this is what I was curious about, how low her hair goes. Her hair actually covers the eyes pretty heavily. And it does come to like a widow's peak a little at the inner part of her forehead. So, how do we want these? Let's lighten this a little bit too. So I'm going to get rid of the color too, just because it sometimes distracts. So right now I'm trying to think of how I want the bangs, because the bangs are interesting in that they actually dip like towards and down. But at this angle, I don't want it to be covering the face like this, right? Because if we do that, suddenly her expression is gone, right? Like, that's the expression that was there, but now suddenly you can't really see that eyebrow. So I think I'll keep it the way it is, as if it's like floating, like it's getting popped up. But maybe we'll kind of push it down a little more here. to cover part of the ear, something like that. Yeah, sorry I'm not too talkative today. Like I said, it's been like a interesting couple of days for me. That are just, you know, sometimes we all hit points in our lives where it's just a little, we've got a little too much stuff going on in our back burner, and it's just kind of, you get a little fried, you know? I feel like we all hit those points where just our bodies and our brains are just like, hey man, this is a lot. I'm kind of done. Like where your body's like, we're done for now. And so I apologize. That's kind of where I've been at. So I'm not the most talkative today, but it doesn't help that I'm also trying to fix these problems that, like, when I quickly hash stuff in like this, I'm like, cool, this looks dope. And as always, the problem then comes when you try and do more. The second you start detailing, you're like, oh wait, this made sense in like this simplified form. But the second I started adding detail and actually like deciding how these shapes would look, suddenly I don't like it. And that's usually how I feel about the face a lot of the time, which is why I've been putting it off. Because usually I'm like, I like this face. This looks good. And then the second I try to finalize, I'm like, wow, I don't know how to draw faces. I think I'm an idiot. So that's why I'm hee-hawing on the getting to the face. But you can only hee-haw so much. I feel like we've got everything else done now, right? Can't really hee-haw more at this point. I mean, you could. Don't tempt me with a good time. I'm sure I could figure out a way to noodle this even more, but let's not and say I did. So again, with her hair, her cuts are very flat, right? Like her bangs, the bottom of her hair, it's all very flat. So I want to still like show that, but give it nice movement and curvature still. So I'm trying to like emphasize on stuff like this, where there's not too many like flyaways like this, right? Like this one. Like I've got one, just to kind of give it a little movement. But everything else, I kind of want to still play with these like, curves into flats. Just to kind of help sell that like iconic Psylocke look, right? That has this, even this one here, right? This still has curve, and then it's not like a square, but it has a harder edge, right? So I feel like that's the best way we can kind of allude to the, you know, if we look at the back of her hair again, like we said, it's very flat, very, very flat cut. But that doesn't mean it doesn't get cool looking. But that's just where I'm at mentally when I try and resolve the hair. And I think that works. It still looks pretty, still looks flowy. So my debate before was if I wanted like anything coming underneath. I do always like giving a little bit so it feels more natural, because I feel like when things cut right at spots, it's like, would it really? Like, I feel like you'd see a little more, right? So I kind of want, we'll see how much I like this. Just like a hint of hair, right? At the bottom to break up that negative space. We'll see. And then up here, I wanted to play with, I had sketched this in too. Like if her hair is flowing, right? I feel like it would be overlapping quite a bit. Like it wouldn't just be going the one direction. It would be kind of swooping over her arm. Not like drastically, but I just wanted to see how it would look, especially once I threw colors in to see if that would read well. That like it's not so black and white. Because I feel like a lot of times when we draw stuff, we're like, yep, hair is here, this is here, this is that. But like the body is flowing. There's so much movement to everything that I kind of want to just hint to a little bit more natural look, an organic flow. But again, sometimes you do that and it feels weird. Like it feels like little noodles or something like that. That doesn't feel like it should exist there. So like right now they do feel a little large, but we'll see once I slap color in. Otherwise, those are easy to remove. No harm, no foul, right? I don't think the hoops are as big as I'm drawing them, but that's too damn bad. I like a big hoop. It's cute. My girlfriend is very little. She's like 5 something. Small young lass, right? But she always has like really like fun jewelry and I absolutely love it. And so like she's got like she's been wearing like these big old gold hearts that she got and stuff. And it's always funny seeing like I like that contrast on her. So I like to show that in this stuff too, where it's like I like the shape, the size variety, like we talk about small to big. And so like, yes, is this bigger? This hoop? Absolutely. Does it look cool? I think so. I like a big hoop. That said, the curvature didn't really make sense right there. I need to kind of pull it, reel it back a little bit. Like it didn't look like it resolved itself with the other side of the ring. Give it some heavy shadow there so it feels like it's moving. And a little bit of heavy shadow on this side. Like I talked about, like I don't know how people draw without thick lines. Like I love thick lines. I don't know how people do it. I grew up on comic books. I need these thick darks. I need these heavy blacks. That's how my brain associates. Like that's how I read the movement of space is through this line weight. So one day, as I said, I will study and have some practice pieces where I'm not doing it that way. But that's not today. Today is still keeping it thick. Just like her butt. So what else do we got? So we've got now the hair. The hair, like I said, I'm faking her bangs because as much as like, so again, technically her hair would go like this. Right? That's technically the way her hair flows. But the sketch I did, I feel like is a better like playful vibe of what I want it to look like. So that's too tangenty right here. Either we commit and go below the ear or above the ear. We go below the ear. Let's see how this would look. And then again, I always just try 2, right? Try them both. Who cares? We got time. Below the ear. I kind of do like it, actually. I don't know if I even have to try above the ear. I think below the ear works because it gives a little bit more depth to the hair. And since your hair does cover so much, that's our way of at least showing that, like, hey, look, the bang-ish. I don't know if these are technically called bangs. I'm not not cosmetologist. Not a hairstylist. They've got a name. Either way, I don't know. Is that called bangs? Does anybody know? Are these still called bangs when they're at the side of your head? Oh, hey, what's up? How's it going, man? I didn't even know you were in here. You you saw the booty call. You needed to come see. But yeah, I'm completely blanking on why am I blanking on what the name of someone who does hair is called? There's a cosmetologist, hairstylist, and then but like weird. For real though, right? I even accentuated a little more. I cut this bit of the thong in more. I put this I got it framed here a little bit more now because I put this little bit of detail in with her leg. I'm getting there. Leaning into that booty. Oh, school was closed because of the weather? That's crazy that if it was because of the snow, I feel like I've had such crazier snowstorms before in the past and schools didn't close. Yeah, it wasn't because I know girlfriend was gonna, she took the day off, right? She saw the weather and she's like, crap, I'm gonna put time in to take off just in case, right? And then I'll give it back if it's not too bad. And then last night we looked at it and we're like, doesn't look like it's actually gonna be like terrible. So I think we're fine. And yeah, so she ended up going into work. She wasn't too happy about it, but she's like, fine, I guess it makes sense not to, take a day. But yeah, free day at home for you. Not for her though, because she still went through. But yeah, the snow really is not. So again, for those that don't know, Chicago here, it's got like a blizzardy thing. All the warnings were out, but it wasn't that bad, right? And so like I used to go to school for my graduate program, I commuted into the city and that school would never close, man. Like they didn't care ever. They're like, that's too bad. Like half the school was commute, right? Like I had to take the train in. Granted, I worked in the city too, so I was already going in, so I didn't really like, I already was committed regardless. But like it was wild that like it could have been like -4. The snow was astronomical, and they're like, yeah, we still got school. And it's like, cool. So that's crazy that, we just got this little bit of snow and your school's like, nah, man, I can do nothing for you. We done. Good for you though. Any fun plans or just chilling at home then? Sometimes it's like nice just to do nothing when you get that day off, right? Like just absolutely nothing. But it's a double-edged sword because then sometimes you're like, but I gotta be productive. Tekken 5, you pulling back. See, I'm old. If I'm gonna play an old Tekken, my brain goes, I want to play Tekken 3. That's my Tekken. Like if I had one Tekken that like resonated the most for me, it was Tekken 3. That's like what hit. Tekken 3 and then Tekken Tag. But Tekken 5 was super clean. Was Tekken 5 the one that they added that weird single player like beat 'em up mode? I can't remember if that was 5. Maybe it was 4. I get those mixed up. But it was weird. Yeah, I think it was Tekken Force, right? Wasn't that the name of it? The single playery kind of nonsense that they made. Okay, so it was first introduced in Tekken 3. I don't even remember that. Maybe I'm pick. Oh, it was just because they ramped it up, I feel like. You know what that means? Let's take a peek. I'm gonna look at it. So this was Tekken 3. Okay, so I do remember this, but it didn't feel good. Like this one felt bad. Like I didn't like this one in 3 because it just felt weird. I played 3 the most with like just practicing myself and then playing locally with my buddies. And we would always like wouldn't even play against each other half the time. We would just like arcade mode run it always in the normal fights. But this one felt weird. Yes, Tekken 4 is when I was like, oh, this had more sauce to it. And I remember this outfit. When do we? Is this Tekken 5s then? Looks like. Were there timestamps on this? Yeah, Tekken 4 Jin was like the move always and forever. Oh, I forgot they added the weapons then. Okay, so yeah, I completely forgot Tekken 4 started in 3. Damn. I was thinking it started in 4. But I guess because to me, Tekken 4 is when it like, this felt like a legitimate mode. And I think the changing camera really helped it. This just felt like a weird, like old school arcade brawler. Like I was playing like the Ninja Turtle game, but like crappy. Basically, this one felt like always. Whereas this was the first time I remember being in my room. I had and I had one of those. I thought it was the coolest. Fair. Yeah, it almost like if I recall correctly, it felt more like a Muso game. Like a Dynasty Warriors almost, where it's like it's just a bunch of people getting thrown at you and you're just slapping crap left and right. Like it was more volume and just hits, massive hits. But yeah, I can see this one looked pretty jank. But yeah, the atmosphere 100% was there in this one. But yeah, no, when I was younger, when I played this game, I had this goofy, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It was a loft, right? Like my bed was high, like it was like a bunk bed, but a loft where it was just up high. And it was like this, it was metal. Like it was like the pole, like it was like this curved metal, but it was like thick. But underneath was a futon. So it was a futon on the bottom and a nice, my bed up top. And I was like 16, you know what I mean? Or at this point I was 14 probably then. Or no, Tekken, goodness. When was Tekken 4? Because that's the one I was talking about. Tekken 4 was what year? 21. Okay, I was 11. Jesus. When I first got that bed. Because I remember getting it and sitting on my futon, being like, I'm the coolest kid ever. I've got a couch in my room, and I've got my PS2 up here, and I'm playing Tekken. And I don't know why. Like, you have like those weird like moments that stick in time, and that's definitely one for me where like that just stuck in time for me of like, yep, chilling on my futon thinking I was so cool playing Tekken Force. RIP that giant bed. Yeah, and it had like the entertainment center even in my room, like a little old one from like my uncle that was like beat up, but I was like, this is cool. I'm fine. I've got my Dreamcast in here. Ooh, crap. Okay, I'm gonna peek this and then I'm gonna go back to Psylocke. So Pizzo, I know a lot of people don't play Fortnite. I get it. I still play it all the time with my buddies. They released this new Iron Man with like ultimate drip where he's got 4 styles and then 4 color styles for each one. Like 4 skins and then 4 palettes that are repeatable. Hate this. Hate the ultimate armor. Looks stupid. Classic outfit. 1000%. Coolest look. I hate that I'm tempted. So I haven't, with Marvel Rivals now, the only thing I've put money into games is Marvel Rivals skins. I've been like, I don't need to buy Fortnite crap anymore. I have a billion things. I'll buy like one thing every month or two. This is going to tempt me though. This is going to tempt me. Damn. Especially with the Doom color scheme. Ugh. Darn it. All right, I'm going to buy that later. All right. Back to that booty. Man, yeah, I like how I said it wasn't that bad, the snow, but now I'm looking outside and it's looking pretty gross. Like pretty gross out. Can't wait to go shovel. Like, so when I'm drawing faces, sometimes I just commit where I'm like, I think I'm gonna draw it different, or I'm gonna do that, and then I try and draw it different. But my head is so wrapped around the initial drawing I did of the sketch that I'm like, yeah, but what if I just keep it exactly the same? Tekken 5 was still PS2 though, right? So you're still rocking the PS2, or was that PS3 at that point? I don't remember. I know it just probably said in that video, but I don't remember. Okay, yeah, PS2 still. Nice. The greatest. I was never like growing up like a big Sony person. I didn't care, right? Like I was admittedly very spoiled as a kid, right? I had it all. So I didn't ever like need to pick a side, right? I was spoiled. I understand this. Um but I never like felt like super affinity to any console then. Like I just liked them all. Um but yeah, the PS2 is the greatest one. Like I don't think there's any argument in my mind that even though like GameCube had some absolute amazing pieces of art that like transcend everything, PS2 just the sheer volume that the PS2 has, like you can't argue that. Like it is just some of the greatest games of all time live on the PS2. And some of the games that like we didn't even like that exist now are because of what we got on the PS2, you know? Like the fact that that console lasted so long too was wild. Another fun story of the PS2. I I had my PlayStation 1 and all my normal stuff, right? Like nothing crazy. I had my normal consoles. PS2 had been out, but I hadn't gotten one. Never got one at first, right? My grandpa owns a body shop. He's always kind of, I don't want to say skeevy. Not skeevy's not the word, but like some of the stuff was always like he would just get stuff, right? Like whether he'd barter for it or do like a deal, or sometimes he found crap in the cars when he was working on them when they got like if they were repoed and he got them and all these things, right? And I remember getting PS2 from I want to say it was for Christmas, and I like lost it. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I cannot believe I got the PS2. I was so stoked, but it's funny because he's a car guy. Like he loves cars. He owns he that's like been his life, right? Like I don't really care for cars as much. That's not, not my energy, not my thing. Um, but like he got me the PS2 and had Gran Turismo with it. And I was like, all right, mom, we need to go buy some games. Like that's what came with it that he gave me. And I was like, no, 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 we can't be having this. I need to go get some more. Give me some other stuff. I can't just be doing racing simulation. That said, I played it. I played I think it was GT3, Gran Turismo 3 at that time. But like, maybe it was 2. I don't even know. But it was just funny getting that and being like, oh no, 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 no. This can't do. We need to get some action games, some fighting games. And we did. I honestly, by the end of the PS2's life, oh my goodness, over the lifetime of that console, I had probably owned, not all at one time, but like, buy and sell with GameStop and trading with friends and doing whatever. 250 maybe? 250 different games, if not more. Like maybe 300. Like it was absurd. Like I would, again, I told you, like I'm saying, I was spoiled. I get this. I understand. But like the stuff that you could get sometimes were such good deals. Like Blockbuster would run these deals where it was like buy one, get one half off, or buy two, get one free on like the used games or something like that, like the pre-owned ones that they had already rented out. And I would just go ham. Like, and I was always a big proponent of like buying and selling and trading in and using like taking advantage of all the promos I could at GameStop and really just kind of, I had a lot of games. Lot of games. And then now here I am as a grown adult and I'm like, I play 2 games, maybe 3. Like my mental capacity is not there to keep adjusting and playing different games anymore. I've got Rivals, I've got Fortnite. I haven't touched Street Fighter since Rivals now. That's it. That's all my brain allows me to play anymore. I'm too old. And so I talked about like resolving issues in the face sometimes, and this is one where it's weird, where this was just a mess, right? This is just a bunch of random pixels I had drawn on there. Doesn't look great, but then I don't know how to solve it because I didn't even solve it in the first place. But the messiness looked good. So how do I clean the messiness and make it still look clean? Like, I make it still look like this energy of the first sketch. Catch in a bit. You can go play in the snow. Gonna go make some snow angels. You'll be right back. I got some snow angels to make. I'll be right back. Got a snowman that's got my name on it. But here on the eye, like this is a weird spot because I want to change like, so the lid actually comes out like that. So we see more of the eye. So it feels like it's got more of an oomph. This color that we'll add in a sec. Yeah, I don't know how much something about her left eye is throwing me off right now, but I'm hoping maybe once we add some value in there, it'll kind of fix itself. Sometimes these fine areas of detail that are the worst. That looks okay. Is it time for more chocolate? It is. It is 12:50. It's well past my time. You already know the chocolate I'm about to eat. So this drawing's taken forever, as per usual on stream, right? I'll finish her up, hopefully off stream tomorrow, maybe. And I'll have some cool stuff to show them. But at least we're solving a lot of the core pieces now. So I'm trying to figure out where her like little widow's peak would fall. Does it come down this far, do we think? So she got like a 2 head, right? Like almost no forehead. But if we go too high, it feels like she's got a real big forehead the way this is angled, right? It's hard because where I decided to put that little bit of bang is not ideal then. Okay. Technically, she does have some flyaways, but I don't know if I really want to emphasize those too much. Do we draw the other earring too? because I said I like how big they are, and just draw a massive one like that. I mean, we could always just do like a little illusion to it behind the head like that then. Really lean into the big old earrings. I kind of like that actually. It seems completely unnecessary to put an earring in there. But I kind of want that little bit of silver to pop over. All right, so I'm going to start giving a little bit of line width to some of these pieces on her face because she's feeling flat in the moment. And I'm trying to quickly resolve this before I move on to the arm. So this is a new, like I said, this was a new mix for me to listen to. This lo-fi. I like it. I've been vibing with it. I don't know about you guys. Nothing like blowing my brain, but that's kind of the point of lo-fi, is just to be chill, sounding cool. Hit those notes, right? Those little vibes of the video games that you love, which is what I've been hearing this whole time. Okay. It's hard when I do all my thick lines because I don't want to like overly thicken too many pieces on her face, because that can look weird pretty quick. But if I don't choose a couple, then it also looks horribly unbalanced. So it's a fine line on what to pick and choose. Do I give that little down part of the nose, or do I leave it open? I'll keep the little down part. I like it. Alrighty, so she just needs to get this last little bit of bang. And she does have this like eye paint, right? But I'm not sure how I want to illustrate that. And by paint, I mean it's like the giant marking on her head. I don't think you'd call that paint at this point. But I feel like the angle I'm at, it doesn't, like, I don't know if you'll really even understand what this is. It just kind of will look weird. Unless I like lean into it and like make it really big. So like that whole side then, let's say, is just like, instead of trying to be too simple and like too clean with it, what if we just like, bam, make it real big? I don't know. I feel like that also looks weird because of where her nose is. It feels like no matter what I do, it's like a weird. We'll see once there's color in it. I feel like what I need to do actually might be make it play up her nose line instead. Again, that's not how the design is. I understand this. But from a color perspective, that might look cooler. Just following that curve. Don't know. We'll find out together, won't we? All right, so let's finish up her hair now. Do we want it? So two different ways. We can either curve it down or we can curve it kind of up with a little flare. I think down looks better. Something like that. So I'm going to have the bang here angle down to kind of like heavily to kind of play up the idea of like technically her hair would be doing that, right? We established her hairstyle does have that like hard angle down. So we'll see if that looks a little too extreme. Always can reel it back. As is her like MO. She's got these like the little cuts in the hair to simulate a little more bangs. That is a thick line. But I do want some sort of differentiator between like front and back. And I think that's kind of what I was trying to figure out. So like the bangs are curving in space, right? Towards us. So we need at least like an illusion of what's in front. So doing that might help. Maybe. Nope. Don't like that one bit. I've got my brain thinking about snow days now. Like, just knowing there's been all the snow and all this right now, my brain's been just like, man, what did I do as a kid? I bet you can assume I just played video games. 9 times out of 10, I'd be like, I'm gonna draw, I'm gonna play video games, I'm gonna play with my action figures. So basically, my life now as an adult. Who knew I'd be so hung up on the same things? Hey man, but if it works, it works. Fun is fun, am I right? Sorry, Twitch is being kind of weird. One sec, just checking something. TwitchCon Europe. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to Europe for TwitchCon. Okay, might be. So let's get her back. Wonder if we've thickened this line up here by her forehead to really kind of let that sit in space more. Same thing back here. Wonder if we give a little bit more heaviness to this line. Her forehead looks very bulbousy right now. So I wonder if we cut that up a little. Like it's very super like round, like very rounded forehead, which isn't bad per se, but it changes like the angle of the head. So if we do that, it looks a little better, a little better. Can we start slapping in We duplicate this again. Let's erase where the arm is. Oh my god. Like kind of here, right? So we can kind of see where the hair is going to go. And then we can try and merge it in a second and then see if we like that energy anyway. So let's merge this down. This is the good, no, whoops, that would have been dumb. Merge this down. So now it's one piece, right? And now let's see the color, right? We're just, again, I just kind of want to play it by ear and see as we're going along what the color is going to work. Let's say this is purple still. What color? She's got like black hair, right? Do we keep in the purple family though? So we go like, uh-oh. Why is that not closed off? This seems pretty close. Like I don't see any like negative pixels. Maybe this? What? I don't know. I don't know why that's not working. Goes off there, maybe. Just trying to see like, so basically when you do a fill, for anybody that doesn't know, when you fill a space, it looks at all the pixels surrounding it and closes. Like, so if there's a gap, then it like doesn't know where to fill, so it just fills everything. Like a hole, right? Like a hole in it. But there are no holes that I see. Oh, psych. Probably these little guys right here. Just tighten those up, and now we'll try again. Go back. Like I said, let's make it a little purple. We might mess with her hair color. This is not super my favorite right now, but and this is like a pink, right? Very pinkish. So let's lean into that. Like a very strong pink. Whoa! And then I want to give her like some eyeshadow. I don't know what color her eyes are. I'm going to assume greenish because that looks cool. Her lips are like that same purple, but a little bit more red. And then this eyeball is like this space here. We need to fill it, and then I'll just paint it here for the moment, just so there's grayish. But then here is where I'm running into a thing where I wanted this to have some purple, right? But I don't know how much I want to commit to this. Again, not necessarily in her design, whoops. But I like the idea of giving this like eyeshadow of purple. But then how does it look if we do it here? Like really, really, really purple, right? That's too purple. What if we like lighten it up? I know these are flat. It should not have shadow to it. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, this pink has thrown it off, unfortunately. Like the marking on her eye. But you need to have it. Wonder if I make it, I made it really big, right? But I wonder now if I go the opposite and I just make it smaller. Well, while we're adding, you know, some color. Give a little butt shine. See that. Butt shine. Everybody knows a butt is the most reflective surface on the planet. So dumb. Okay. All right, it's 110. I don't know what to solve here before we go. Completely unnecessary adding of these lights right now. Yeah, I don't know. This pink of the face is really throwing me for a loop. Let's get rid of the color. Let's go back to the basic sketch brush. Let's figure this out. Let's figure this out. So let's get, oh, no. Let's get rid of what I did before, okay? Now we're back to neutral. Now, how do I figure out her glowy butterfly tattoo pink stripe? Oh, that's huge. Why is that? What is going on with this brush right now? Oh, I'm on the wrong brush. That'll do it. So I tried, like I said, to go big. Big did not work, so now I'm going small and seeing if small is better. But I don't, it's just a weird, like the way in which I designed this makes it difficult to have this detail without getting too lost, right? But that's my job. Gotta fix it. And now that goes too much into the earring. It looks like it's part of the earring then. Making it go way further down than it really even does. we simplify it. Let's see what that looks like with some color. Let's go back and see. This would be, oh no, goodbye highlights we added. No, that's gonna look dumb then. Okay, and then we'll do pink again. So I think the big takeaway here is I want this top part to go higher than the pink part, the pink outline. I'm gonna add, this is not needed, but I'm just adding a little bit because this is gonna bug me. So what I'm talking about is up here. So let's go back to the right brush this time. This guy. I feel like it terminates too quickly. So we need to give it space to breathe up her head, kind of. Because it doesn't, it goes pretty far up. So what if it, yeah, maybe. Now she's got a big old forehead. So can we? Yeah, I think that works a lot better now. The pink part, at least, like the eye detail. I think so. I think so. Anyway, let's see now. So we did a lot with our body. Colors are there. Okay, so let's kind of think of what we're gonna do with this arm now. The arm doesn't need a lot, but it does have that cool like pink little vibe that I wanted to add onto it, but maybe not. So her left arm, it doesn't have any real detail on it other than the gauntlet thing. So simplify the arm. I like always having the tricep there. Wonder if the shoulder is getting too big then. Oh gosh, the eraser was way too big, so it just kind of, I didn't even notice it broke away part of the other line work. That's not good. She has nothing on her shoulder, so her shoulder is actually going to be skin tone. So I've got to make sure it doesn't look too busy. But then we've got these two wraps. One starting pretty high from her shoulder, right? They're both pretty high. Just for continuity, let's slap these colors in. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, and then I want to darken up these lines real quick then. I like the way these look. Let's darken them up. Oh, crap. It's almost lunchtime. And it's this weird, when it's snowing, when do you shovel? Right? Like, when do you shovel when there's snow everywhere? Like, do you shovel in the middle so that it's not too bad at the end? Or do you shovel at the end when you assume there's no more? But if it's supposed to snow till 9, the hell do you do there? I don't know. Did I not? Oh, I must have screwed up. I forgot to do her earring. Pop. Now let's darken up the lines. Let's see if this looks weird, getting rid of the chin. Nah, that looks good. That looks good. And by getting rid of the chin, I mean like that distinct line that made the chin, but the chin still exists by color. The shadow is just now shaping this extra space a little more heavily so that it actually helps the face pop off of that more, right? The underside of the arm is not as important either. So we're kind of darkening that up. Kind of feels weird with this guy then, so let's really lean into it and curve this dark so it just feels like it's just kind of popping up. Man, I don't know how people do it. Like, these people that stream like 8 hours a day, I don't know. I guess I'm too weird with my food that like streaming that long, I'm like, but when do you get your nice meal? Like, I need to eat my protein. I need to do my thing. Like, how do you do that? Y'all crazy. Y'all built different, that's for sure. I just kind of want a real simple hand because we already have like a relatively, I don't want to say detailed hand in the back line here, but like the foreground is a pretty like well enough rendered hand, right? I don't know if I want to do that for here because the whole point is it's just kind of like not the focus. Yeah, I kind of like a simple hand like that instead. Real simple. So when I draw hands, I always like to have that thumb nice and pronounced. And I usually do like when you're drawing a hand, I like to always have like, I feel like this helps sell it, right? If you've got thumb and like depending on the angle, right? The thumb bit into the back, into the other palm, right? The part of your palm that you could see then helps sell. Because if you look at your hand always, you've got like a hard piece here and a hard piece here. And so it's essentially two like hooks that if you can illustrate both of those, it helps sell the angle. And that's what I'm doing here with this little bit, is just kind of selling that it's existing in space a little bit more accurately. But anyway, her gauntlet thingy, wrist wrap, terminates at the wrist here. And we're pretty foreshortened, right? So we'll punch it. And then her, she just has a bare hand then, essentially, right? Like that's just a bare hand from our perspective. Because if we look, it's just basically like a couple on like finger sleeves. But that's not really anything to make note of, so. Just trying to get the shape of this to sell the direction of the arm, right? I like that, but it's a little too close or further. Man, sometimes the simplest curve, it tells, like a simple curve holds so much information sometimes that it's like, yeah, it's not a big deal. But then somehow drawing that one single curve can be a pain in the butt because it does hold so much importance, right? That one curve actually tells so much information about how the arm is oriented, the perspective that we're looking at it. Like a slight variation in that curve can go a long way in both helping tell the story or confusing what we're trying to look at. So it seems silly when you'll see me like redo a single curve like 8 times, right? But it's because that curve is important. Because it can make or break what the shape is trying to tell us. She's got 3. This is a tight little spot then. 1 is the last, and the last one isn't technically the wrist, like the terminating point. So there's 3. Case in point, like these curves need to start getting a little harsher so that when we get to this point, it makes sense. This like from this curve to this curve to this curve, we need to somehow make it so they slowly get more sharp because that last one we drew is really sharp. So we naturally need to slowly migrate from one to the other. And so it's just like a nice transition. So you can't just suddenly be like, oh, this one's a different angle. But like I said, every curve is important. So like now suddenly, if you just jump from one sharp curve to like a smooth curve like that, you're like, well, how did that happen, right? The brain wasn't shown that resolution of it slowly changing in space, right? So that's all I'm trying to do right now is, again, seems silly because it's just a bunch of curves. But man, these curves are important. Boom, just like those curves, you know what I mean? Does she have those rings on her forearm here too? She does. Is it worth showing them kind of like we showed the other? I kind of like that then. So it's like the balance of one to the other. I feel like if I wonder if we just rotate this wrist a smidge. Yeah, okay. So that's part of the problem. The angle we're showing the fist, right? It needs to be pulled in more. So what I mean is we had it like this, which means it's like jutting from the forearm. Whereas if you cut it in, right, we need to erase so it actually feels like it's a tube sticking on the fist going into it. Yeah, that helps it. I don't know what I was thinking beforehand. Oh my goodness, the touch screen is getting so jank. Don't mind me just having an iPad Pro like seizure. So now that we've got these shapes kind of blocked in, I want to thicken some of these lines like I do to give a little bit more roundness to everything. This is, sorry, I was like blanking on which one was a strap and which one was the wrist. There's too many damn lines. It gets distracting as all heck. So I just want to at least get the colors blocked in so I can say we've got something done, you know? The line work done, the colors are done. Then I'm allowed to go eat and shovel. Okay, so let's slap some color in so we can say we're almost done. We're doing it, because it is 1:30. Alrighty, let's get these colors. So we have two different purples, right? The purple that is the basic part of the wrist wrap, and then the lighter purple that exists ever so slightly. Come on. For the thin straps. Okay. We've got some skin. And then we've got the silver. Oh. Okay. I'm not quite sure what I need to fix right now. But as always, I'll figure it out later when I go off stream. That's like my thing is, so it's hard. So when you make art, right, you sit there and you look at it, 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 and you keep making stuff. But there's one thing that I like to do, and it's walk away from it, right? So a lot of times what I've always done is I'll make my drawing, I'll do the 3D sculpt, I'll do whatever I'm working on, right? And then I weirdly take a picture of it with my phone. I then stop what I'm doing, I close out all my things, and then I go to the bathroom, I maybe eat something, and I just kind of do my thing. And then I grab my phone and I take a picture, or I take a peek at that picture again and be like, what did it look like? And this weird little like breaking of the monotony of staring at it for so long changes your brain. And then seeing it in a picture on a phone is no longer looking, you're like multiple degrees separated, right? So I'm no longer looking at the thing on the iPad or the Cintiq or the computer or the paper. I'm looking at a picture, but then not only am I looking at it as a picture, I'm looking at a picture of it on a different device. So you become like multiple degrees separated from the piece that for my brain helps me be like, oh, now I see, right? Like now I get it. Now my brain sees what it was trying to tell me. But like until I break apart all of that logic, it doesn't work for me. Like I need to get that like separation, and I need to walk away from it, and I need to see it in a different light. I need all those things to align. And that's usually when I come back. And in instances like this, like all of a sudden it looks a lot better. It looks way changed. It's a better piece, you know? But until that point, I feel like I always am like, when I'm streaming then, it's weird because I can't take a picture and go eat, right? I can't go walk away. I'm doing the thing that I'm doing right now. I can't just stop it. So it is an odd process for me now because I feel like it's hard for me to get one thing done in a single sitting then because my brain needs to walk away. But either way, I will walk away in a moment now. I'm just trying to thicken up a couple of these lines so that it reads a little better in the moment. Because, you know, we live in that thumbnail life here on Twitch where I got to have thumbnails for everything. But yeah, she's almost done. I would say we did a good job today. We got pretty far. Her face looks good. Her body looks good. We oh my God, really? We fixed a lot of these like little nuanced pieces that I wanted to work on. We added 2 little blobs for some butt glow because that's apparently what we do, right? Okay. I think that's time to call it. I'm going to go eat some lunch and then I'm going to go shovel. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your Wednesday. If you're here in the Midwest, be safe, drive okay. You know, don't be like an idiot like too many people are on the road when they see snow or rain or anything. They just forget how to drive. Don't be like that. Don't be that dummy. But all right, I'm gonna go eat. I hope you guys liked the work today. We're leaning more into the booty. I know it's a transition for me, but I'm getting there. But I think this turned out decent for what we're working with. I like it. So hope you guys have a good rest of your Wednesday. I will be back on Friday, as usual. Friday, 10:30 a.m. I don't know. Maybe we'll have her done already, and we won't draw any more of this. We'll do something different. Who knows? What a mystery. Am I right? Until then, though, be kind. Be kind. And kick butt.